Hey everybody, Joe McCall here. How you doing? I just got some things that I want to tell you and I want to share with you. And why? Well, for a couple reasons. Number one, I just want to teach you some cool stuff that's working, what I'm doing now. And number two, I got a webinar coming up. In fact, I'm going to be doing several of these webinars over the next few weeks, few months, I don't know, where I'm actually going to be teaching people how I flip deals while traveling around Europe, while traveling in my RV for months at a time in multiple different markets without ever having to talk to sellers or buyers. A lot of people have been asking me to come up with some more teaching and to teach people how to do this. So I've created a system called Automated Wholesaling, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. So as part of my promotion to get the word out there about this webinar that I'm doing, I've decided to give you some really good free stuff, some good content as it were, and that's the purpose of this video. That's the purpose of the podcast that I'm doing here. And I'm going to be talking about automated wholesaling, how to wholesale deals from anywhere in the world. I think a lot of people might be interested in that. You may not want to travel to Prague, or you may not want to be on a beach in Barcelona. You just may want to, flip properties from your backyard or from a cafe at Starbucks in downtown. So this is really just about systemizing, automating your business. Listen, because the less you do, the more you'll make, right? So in this first little special content video I'm going to put together for you, I'm just going to talk real quickly about marketing. This business, we're not in the real estate business, we're in the marketing business. I talk about that a lot. And so I'm just going to share with you some of the best ways that I've found to find sellers and buyers. And I'm really trying to emphasize here the point that you need to keep it simple. You need to keep it as simple as possible, right? So it all starts with a marketing plan. And I want to share with you just a real simple marketing plan. And by the way, I'm going to be giving away a lot of really cool things in this little video series. I'm going to try, right now my plan is to do this in 3 different posts. But the first one, I'm going to be giving you a spreadsheet. The second one, I'm going to be giving you some templates that I use for the systems that I use. And then I'm going to be giving you a calculator on the third video. And you can get all of that stuff for free, the spreadsheets, the checklist, and this mind map, and the calculator after the webinar. So to get this cool stuff, I'm going to be giving you a link in a little bit, and you can go register for the webinar. At the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you a link where you can get all this stuff for free. Cool? But I'm going to be giving you enough here that you can still take it and run with it, even if you don't want to go to the webinar and don't want to watch it. I get it, all right? So it all starts with a marketing plan, right? And it's really important to know your numbers. It's really important to know your numbers. And there's 3 key performance indicators that you need to know. And I forgot to put that in the mind map here, so I'm going to pause my video. Hold on a second. All right, so there's really actually 5 numbers you need to know in your business, and this is super important. Number 1, how many sellers do you need to talk to every day to meet your goals? And how many offers do you need to make a day? So it's really important you track these numbers, because if you want to make 5, 10, 15, 20 grand a month in real estate, you can do that. But you need to have a certain goal or target of how many sellers you need to talk to every day. And if you're talking to a lot of sellers, you also need to be making a lot of offers. He who makes, or she, who makes the most offers wins. So my philosophy, and I hope this is yours as well, is you should be making an offer to every single seller that calls you as a result of your marketing. Okay? So how many sellers are you talking to every day? And how much marketing, how many offers are you making to those sellers every day? So you should have a minimum goal for that, okay? Then the other thing that you need to know is what's your average profit per deal, what's your average cost per lead, and how many leads on average do you need per deal. And you don't know those numbers. You won't know those numbers unless you track them. So it's really important to track your numbers, and we'll be talking more about that. So to do that, it's important you have a simple plan. Everything that I teach has to be simple. If it's not simple, throw it away, okay? It's got to be simple. You can't scale something. You can't build a system and scale something unless it's simple to begin with. So I'm big on that. Simple system scale. Create a really simple system, and then you can scale that, okay? Don't try to complicate it. Just keep it simple. Just focus on 1 or 2 things at a time. And I'm going to be talking about that. So as a part of a simple plan, I have this spreadsheet that I'll give to you after the webinar. You can take a look at it, but it's real simple. If your monthly income goal, let's just say, is 10 grand a month, and your average net profit per deal is $5,000, that means you need to do what? 2 deals a month. Well, let's say then that you have to have 40 leads per contract. Oh, excuse me here. right? That means you need what? 80 leads per month. Now you could even go into the spreadsheet and bump that up a little bit. Maybe you could bump that up by 25%. So, but that means you need to get at least 80 leads a month or 3 leads a day. Now I'm going to tell you that as a minimum, you need to talk to at least 5 sellers a day. So you need a minimum of 5. That's your most important number. Okay, no matter what your goal is, a minimum of 5, and you should be talking to at least 5. So if the marketing that you're doing doesn't give you at least 5 leads a day, then you need to be picking up the phone and just cold calling people. So let's talk more about this. Just to keep this really, really simple, low key, okay? Let's say there's 3 things that you want to do: Craigslist, postcards, and yellow letters, okay? Let's say 20% of your leads come from Craigslist. You should never do more than 25% of your marketing from Craigslist. That's the cheapest and free. Usually it's free to do marketing on that, right? So 20%, 50% for postcards, and 30% for yellow letters, let's just say. Now you can play with these numbers any way you want. Now, that means if you get an average response rate of 5%, that means you're contacting Craigslist ads that are listed for rent, for sale by owner, and an average of 5% respond positively to you. And I'll talk about in the webinar what you say to those people on those ads. How do you text them? How do you call them? How do you leave them voicemails? Okay, that means you need to be finding at least 13 Craigslist ads every day to meet your goal. Okay, let's say 50% of your leads come from postcards and your average response rate is 2%. You know, if you're doing the right list and you're sending the right postcard, many times your response rate is better than that. But you can play with the numbers, make it 3%, make it 1%. Let's just say 2%. That means you need to send 500 postcards a week. All right, let's say 30% of your leads come from yellow letters, and there's a lot of really cool sources to send yellow letters to. You know, I like the smaller niche lists, maybe late taxes or evictions, maybe rentals in good areas on Zillow, things like that. You can send yellow letters to smaller niche lists, but the goal is then if 24 leads a month come from yellow letters and your average response rate is 8%, you need to send about 15 yellow letters a day, okay? These are the numbers that you need to know, right? You need to talk to 5 sellers a day. You need to contact at least 13 Craigslist ads a day, 500 postcards a week, and 15 yellow letters a day. Now, let's say your budget, you can't afford that yet, but this is where you want to be eventually. And if you want to make at least 10 grand a month in deals, that's about what you need to do to spend on marketing at a minimum, okay? So these numbers in yellow are the numbers that you need to know. Now, approximate cost, if you get a part-time VA, you know, it's going to be about $250 a month, let's say. Your lists and postcards, you can get these cheaper, but it's about $960 a month. And your yellow letters, if you're doing them yourself or you're outsourcing it, actually, it's going to be about 90 cents. So about $1,500 per month. That works about right to my averages. I'm spending about $750 to $1,000 to maybe $900 a month per deal. Okay, so if you're doing 2 deals a month, you should be expecting to pay about $750 to $1,000 per deal in marketing. Okay, now there's other marketing that you can do. You know, you can call rentals, FSBO ads. You can network and email your list every week. You know, hey, I'm looking for deals. Do you have anything? You can train bird dogs to go do the marketing for you, and you can do bandit signs and things like that. So I just wanted to show you a really simple marketing plan here that you can start using that kind of puts things up from this ethereal thing down to something, okay, this is practical. This is what I can do every day, every week. Now, when you have this kind of a plan, you need to create a scorecard. Scorecard is really simple, but this is where you're going to be tracking your daily and weekly goals. And I believe in this scorecard so much. This is super important, and I make sure all of my clients go through this. You need to track your daily numbers. If you want to contact 20 a day, that's 100 a week. If you want to send 20 yellow letters a week, a day, that's 100 a week. So you also need to track how many postcards you're sending and how many sellers you're talking to. If your goal is to talk to 5 sellers a day, well, that's 25 sellers a week, right? So then what you do is just every week you start tracking your numbers. And when you do this, okay, then you can track, obviously, the contracts, the deals, the offers that you make. You know, I might even want to add one thing in here, offers made, okay? You should track the offers that you made, and your goal should be 5 a day, 25 a week, right? I mean, can you imagine making 100 offers a month? Do you think you might get a deal out of that, right? So when you start tracking your numbers, you can start seeing your key performance indicators here, right? You can start seeing, well, you know what? Maybe I'm not doing enough deals because I'm not talking to enough sellers. I'm not making enough offers. Now, once you start doing deals, you start tracking your average profit per deal, your average cost per lead, and your average leads per deal. Then you can see, well, in my marketing plan here, I figured conservatively, I need about 40 leads per deal. But you may find the better you get, you may only need like 25, 27 leads per deal. But if you're doing like 60 leads per deal, then something's wrong. Maybe we need to change the marketing. Maybe you're sending it to the wrong list. Maybe you're not learning, you don't know what to say to sellers and how to talk to them. So tracking your numbers in a scorecard like this is going to be really, really important for you to know what's broken, what's working, what's not. Does that make sense? So now that's a simple plan. Now maybe that was complicated, I don't know, but you just got to think, all right, what do I need to do every day? It starts from how much do I want to make a month? Then you work backwards from there. You break it down into goals you can control. Does that make sense? You can't control making 10 grand a month. You can't control making 5,000 per deal. You can't control it's going to be 40 leads per contract and you're going to do 2 deals a month. But you can control how many sellers you're talking to, how many yellow letters you're sending, how many Craigslist ads you're contacting every day, and how many yellow letters you're sending every day. So I hope that doesn't sound that overwhelming, but you've got to be focused. And that's my next main point here. You've got to be focused. And don't just spray and pray and send out tons and tons of marketing and hope that something out there sticks. You need to be focused. You need to be focused on the best zip codes, the best type of marketing, the best list, and just focus in on that consistently every day, every week. And I can virtually guarantee your success if you start doing that. Okay? Again, we're not in the real estate business, guys. We're not in the wholesaling business. We're not in the short sale business. We're not in the lease option business, right? We're in the marketing business. Leads are going to be the lifeblood of your business. And you've got enough marketing going out and enough leads coming in, then this business becomes really, really easy. And you can start doing 10, 20 grand a month pretty consistently, okay? Now, I want to talk about my favorite ways, some of them, to find the buyers. And I'm not going to go into too specific detail because I'm going to leave that for the webinar. But first of all, you need to find the demand. And there's a real simple way to do that. And many of you have seen me talk about this before. If you go to ListSource, it's a free resource online to get some of this information. So hold on one second here. Okay, I'm just logging in. You get a free account at listsource.com. But obviously, it costs money to get the list. But if you sign up for a free account, and what I'm going to show you here will be a real simple way to find out where the demand is. Where are the buyers buying homes? Where are they not? You want to be interested. If you want to wholesale deals, you want to know where are the investors and the landlords buying properties. Okay. Now it's acting a little slow here. Let me pause this for a sec. From in here, you go to absentee owners, investors, and then absentee owners. It's going to pull a list. Hopefully, if this works for me here. And let's just pick a random county. How about we'll just use mine. St. Louis, Missouri. All right, so I'm going to go to county. I'm going to pick a state. And then I'm going to select the county from the list below. Just switched internet. And we're going to do St. Louis County, Missouri. All right. There are 46,000 absentee owners. But what I'm interested in is how many absentee owners, those are investors, how many purchased a property in the last 6 months. Okay. And I just want to focus on single family residences. And I'm going to scroll down here, last 6 months, add. And this number from 31,000 is going to drop down to 1,600. Okay, great. I'm going to go to next. And then I'm going to pretend like I'm purchasing this list. Okay, and I'm going to say no preference to corporate-owned properties. Because if it's an LLC, I don't care. Now there's 3,600. 3,600 transactions in the last 6 months in St. Louis County. Where were they buying the properties, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to pretend like I'm purchasing the list. And then I'll show you here in a second. I'll pause this. Hold on here. All right. You're going to click this Purchase Partial List button up at the top right here. You're going to go to Custom Selection. And you're going to do Group by Zip Code. It's going to come up with a little table here, and then I'm going to export that into a spreadsheet. So here is the all of the data by zip code. Okay, and I'm going to export this, and I'm going to email it to myself, and I'll be right back. Hold on. So I have this spreadsheet now of these zip codes and the number of transactions in the last 6 months. Okay, so this is zip and this is count. Okay, there's 3,600, right? Now I'm just going to sort this by largest to smallest, and here you can see where most of the activity is. Okay, and then what I like to do is I just do like a percentage, right? So it's 371 divided by 3603, which is about 10%. 10% of the investor transactions. Where are the buyers buying? 10% of them are buying in this one zip code. Now, it's not my favorite zip code. It's not the place I'd want to live, right? But that's where a lot of the activity is happening. And I want to go that down. So that's like the incremental percentage, right? And then I'm going to do just a cumulative percentage, and I'll show you the reason behind my madness here, right? Boom, there you go. See, we're not about spray and pray, okay? We're not going to target all the absentee owners in the entire county. We're going to target these, what is this, 9 zip codes, and that might even be too much. You might even think about maybe just doing, the top 5 or 6 zip codes. But these are the zip codes where at least 40% of the transactions are happening. Or if you feel you want to be a little more comfortable, 50% of all of the properties that investors are buying are happening in these 9 zip codes. 9 out of 45, okay? So again, I'm not spraying and praying. I don't know where that phrase come from a while, so I'm sorry about that, but that phrase has been in my head a lot lately. This is now maybe where I should be focusing my marketing, don't you think? Right? So then, now that you know, well, and you want to do a little bit of due diligence, you want to go in and look at these zip codes here and figure out, well, are these really good zip codes that I want to be in? Now, you may not like these zip codes. It may not even be something that you look at and think, why anybody, but this is where the demand is, and you want to follow the money. Write that down. Follow the money. So this is how you do it. You just see where the most active zip codes are. Then you go about finding where are the who owns properties in there that you could start targeting. Okay, so I'll cover that next year in the mind map. Let me just say this too, real quick. That was ListSource, but one of my favorite source is Find Cash Buyers Now, and I have a link here, joelikescashbuyers.com. That's my affiliate link. Go check it out. It's one of the best investments you'll ever make. So there's also other places you can go, and I'm going to show you real quickly the kind of data you can get out of Find Cash Buyers Now. Again, go to joelikescashbuyers.com, because I do. joelikescashbuyers.com. That takes you to my affiliate link. I get a little cut when you sign up for them. But it's really cool. I highly recommend this site. It's really, really powerful. But you can go in here and you can say, all right, show me all the cash buyers who are bought in this county within a certain range. And you can also say, show me the owners, only the buyers that live outside of the state. Now, let me give you a little tip here. You ready for this? A great way to build buyers if you're selling turnkey properties, if you're selling rentals, is go out and find all of the different hot turnkey markets, like right now Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, and Houston, Texas, and Jacksonville, Florida, Mobile, Alabama, et cetera, et cetera. There's dozens of them where a lot of turnkey activities going on. A lot of investing companies are selling rentals to out-of-state investors. So you can go using joelikescashbuyers.com. You can go actually find who those buyers are who are buying properties in all those different markets and only pull the ones that are buying those properties from outside of those states. So you could say, show me all the buyers that are buying in Memphis, Tennessee from outside of Tennessee. That's a huge list. I've done tons and tons of deals to those kinds of buyers. All right. So here you can also go in and say, show me the ones that have purchased at least 2 properties that are under a certain amount, if you're interested in that, and that are not commercial. So I'm just going to pull this real quick. I'll pause the video and show you what I see. So here we go. I have about 1,700 results. Some of them I'm going to be taking out like HUD, but cool. This is pretty nice, isn't it? A lot of them. So I'm going to export this into a spreadsheet, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. One thing that's really cool is right here from Find Cash Buyers, you can actually you can print and mail the letters from inside the system to these cash buyers. But so let me show you what this export looks like. And it's a pretty detailed spreadsheet. And I'm going to just manipulate this a little bit, pause the video, and I'll be right back. So I took this spreadsheet from Find Cash Buyers, and I just kind of manipulated it a little bit, and lo and behold, we have, these are only buyers who bought more than 2 or more properties in the last 6 months, okay? So this list is going to be different than the list that I'm getting from ListSource, but I just get more data from this, a lot more data. And so I like to go in here and look at all of these houses, and there are 1,400 properties or so, okay? And the best zips, I created this thing here where it shows me, well, okay, again, 63136 is a hot zip, right? I can see my best, most active zips here. I can also see who my best buyers are. I was just doing something called a pivot table here, and I can see here that Ovation Rentals is buying a bunch of properties, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what's cool is if I get a property under contract in 63136, for example, all right, I can just go in here and I can go show me only the 63136, and here they are, right? There are, let's just see how many there are here, 127, right? Guess what? I can see who are the most active here. Money Train out of Utah, they own 2,100 properties. Now, I'm not sure that 2,100, I don't think that's just in St. Louis. I think that might be everywhere. I may be wrong, but 2,100 properties, that's a lot. Here's the cool thing. Out-of-state buyers are the best buyers, right? So how many buyers here are that bought in that zip code are from outside of Missouri? We just go here to Cash Buyer State, and I'm going to uncheck Missouri. This is so cool. There are 36 buyers that bought in this one zip code in the last 6 months that bought at least 2 properties in St. Louis County. And guess what? I'm going to be targeting these buyers, right? There's people here from Utah, South Carolina, California, Florida, Ohio even, right? Who are these guys? Well, guess what? I'm going to be marketing to them. The point is, there's so much data right now at your fingertips that you can get. You can dig in deeper and you can go in and find the phone numbers of these guys. A lot of time, these phone numbers are here in the spreadsheet from Find Cash Buyers Now. You can call them, you can send them a letter, you can Google them, you can go knock on their door, right? But find out who these buyers are. You should always be marketing for buyers and sellers. I think I'm going to submit to you that's just as important. Okay, let's go back to my mind map here. Always be marketing for buyers, right? You can send them letters, postcards, network, flap your lips. One of my friends used to call it getting belly button to belly button with people out there on the street, finding out, from the title companies, well, who were the buyers? Who are the guys who are buying a lot of properties? Getting out there and networking, finding the hedge funds, finding the investors, the other wholesalers that are wholesaling a lot of properties. Find out who their buyers are, right? So you should always be marketing for buyers. It's super important. And I just keep it simple. I send them letters and postcards. And my letters, I can share that later if you want, but it's just mainly, hey, my name is Joe. I own one of the premier real estate investing companies in the St. Louis area. We've got a lot of properties right now. I can see that you're buying properties in Memphis, Tennessee, or Mobile, Alabama. Roll Tide. And, if we got some cool deals here in St. Louis, come check us out. Call me. And all of my marketing, this is important, goes to, not my cell phone, but my team. It goes to somebody's phone, and they answer it. It doesn't go through a website. It doesn't go through voicemail. For cash buyers, you want their phone number. You want to talk to them, okay? So always be marketing for buyers. Now you know where the most active zip codes are, where most of the buyers are, and you know who the buyers are, right? And if you dig even deeper, you can find out what price they're paying. You could dig even deeper and find out, how many bedrooms, how many, the average square footage, what kind of houses that you can dig into those kinds of details and get a lot of information from that. You can also go in and see, the average price per square foot that they're paying and things like that, right? So now how do you find the sellers? Well, you're going to start from where we kind of left off before, right? You see where the best zip codes are, and I have it here, right? You see where the best zip codes are. So how do you find the sellers that own properties in those zip codes? Well, real simple. You go to ListSource again, or you go to Melissa Data. There's a lot of different places you can go to. But what you start doing is you now know which zip codes to go after, and you go after the sellers in those zip codes. And my favorite list are absentee owners. Okay, Absentee owners and late taxes. I can go into a long time about that, but that's really simple. There's also evictions that you can go after. You could even go after Zillow. One little thing I like to do sometimes is I'll go to Zillow, and I know my top zip code is 63136, right? I'll just go into Zillow. I'll go to the for rent section right here. Paste in my zip code. And I'll see all of the rentals here. Hold on, let me pause this. I go into Zillow and I find rentals. Now, here's the cool thing about Zillow, and I love Zillow because there's so many cool things you can get out of it. But here are all the properties right now on Zillow. Craigslist won't let you go and filter out by zip codes, but Zillow will, right? But here's the cool thing. When you start doing a lot of this and you start going into Zillow, there's 87 properties right now listed for rent in Zillow in this zip code. And you go in, VA does this, and you go pull up these properties, and you can pull up the owner's information on this property and send a letter to the owner. And you could also look right here. You got a phone number. Hot diggity dog, right? Call these guys up. Say, hey, I saw you have a rental on Craigslist on Jennings, in Jennings. You wouldn't have any interest in selling it, would you? It's simple as that, okay? A lot of times it's a property manager or a realtor. You just ask them those questions. You start calling them. So I could go on and on about that. But a lot of times also you'll see properties that are listed in Zillow for rent were at one time listed for sale. And because they couldn't sell it, they decided they're going to rent it. Okay? Why is that important? You're going to find a significant percentage of properties that are listed in Zillow for rent right now are not yet listed as absentee owners in the county records. It blew me away when I figured this out. So if you start sending mail to all of the properties listed for rent, I can't believe I'm giving you my best secrets here. You better be on this webinar, okay? But you'll find a lot of these homes that are listed for rent in Zillow are not listed as absentee owners yet in the county records. So nobody is mailing to them. Do you get that? You're going to, not every property, but you start going through this, you look in the county records, and these are going to be people, maybe not this zip code because this is pretty cheap. A lot of high majority of the homes in this zip code are already rental properties anyway. But you start looking at the properties that are listed on Zillow for rent. They're there because they haven't been able to sell them yet. And you look at a lot of these pictures, and these are already homes in great shape. They don't need any work. I'm just going to show you one here as an example. Yeah, look at that. They don't need any work, right? They're ready to go. So a lot of times, and guess what? This house is vacant. It's vacant. There's nobody in there right now. So the chances are really good that you might find a motivated seller. And a lot of times these houses are vacant because the person living in it moved out and they haven't updated the county records yet, so it's not showing up as an absentee owner, so nobody else is mailing to them. All right, so it's important to know the zip codes, right? Because then you can go in and target the sellers in those 5, 10 zip codes and just start sending mail to them. Now, for absentee owners, I don't mail to all of the absentee owners that everybody else mails to. And you don't want to know who I do mail to? I'm going to tell you that on the webinar. So I'll show you in a minute. By the way, if you want to go register for the webinar right now, go to automatedwholesaling.com/webinar. automatedwholesaling.com/webinar. But I show you on that webinar what absentee owners I like to mail to that nobody else is mailing to. It's pretty amazing, and it's awesome. So I have very little competition for the deals that I do mail to. So it's important to focus on one or two things really well, right? Don't get so scatterbrained and chasing a ton of different things. Just focus on a few zip codes, on a few different types of marketing that work. For instance, direct mail. Direct mail works, right? So postcards, yellow letters. Online, Craigslist and Zillow, okay? If you don't worry about bandit signs, Google AdWords, what else is there out there? You know, business cards and billboards and radio ads and SEO, right? Just focus on a few things. Focus, okay? A few zip codes, a few buyers, a few sellers, a few different types of marketing. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. I know I went through a ton of spreadsheets and showed you all kinds of charts and stuff like that, but that's not going to make you money. Analyzing the stuff to death is not going to make you money. Keeping it really simple and doing this marketing consistently day in, day out is going to get you a lot of deals. It's all about momentum. Okay? I call it the 3 M's to success in this business, right? It's marketing, then it's momentum, okay? And then you need a mentor, okay? You get the marketing out the door, You focus on doing that marketing consistently over and over again. And you're going to find the longer you do this, the more you follow up, and that's going to be on my third blog post. I'm going to be talking about following up and mailing an offer to every single seller. Okay? You start building that momentum, and your business is just going to explode. But it takes time, okay? If you're into this, I'm going to try it. I'm going to cut 1,000 postcards and see if it works. Don't waste your money. You've got to be in it for the long haul. You've got to be consistently doing this every day, and that's why having that scorecard is so important, okay? Now, I just ran through that really fast. I'm going to be doing a webinar. I'm going to be breaking this all down into a lot simpler detail. I'm going to be giving you the spreadsheets, giving you the mind map, the different marketing that I use, and the calculators that I use, and all that good stuff at the end of the webinar, so you got to watch the webinar. I hope it's okay to give you that little ethical bribe. But I'm going to be showing you the 3 secrets on how to create a simple, fully automated wholesaling business where all that stuff I just showed you, somebody else does for you, okay? And you can start wholesaling your deals while you're traveling around the world or while you're just sitting in your backyard while someone else does all the work, okay? Only working 5 to 10 hours a week without ever talking to sellers or buyers. It can be done. I'm coaching clients right now that are doing this, and I'm doing it myself. We just got back from 3 months in Europe. I'm going to be talking about that trip. Year previous, we went 3 months on an RV trip around the northwestern quarter of the United States. I work this is one of my offices right now. My other office is at home, and my other office is at Starbucks. So I can work wherever I want, and I do deals from all over the world. And I love this business. I love sharing it. So the 3 secrets are this. List all the things that have to be done in a typical wholesale deal, and just ask yourself one simple question. How can I do none of this? Okay? You need to develop systems to get other people to do everything for you. It can be done. Okay? Secret number 2 is learn how to target the right sellers with the right marketing. So many investors are wasting tons of money on marketing that's just not working. Okay? And secret number 3, which is almost just as important as anything I've ever been saying, is follow up, follow up, follow up. I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily mail offers to every lead that you get and how you can get a VA to do this. Because the key is in the follow-up. If you have the right systems in place, nothing falls through the crack. No seller lead is left behind, and you can start mailing offers. Even if a seller tells you no to jump off a cliff, I'm going to show you a simple and easy way that you can say, all right, I'm sorry for bothering you, get off the phone, but then mail them an offer and follow up with them. If you have the right systems in place, that's really, really easy to do. So if you go to automatedwholesaling.com/webinar, automatedwholesaling.com/webinar, click the link in the mind map here, and you can register for the webinar. I'm going to be doing it live this week and next week. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing replays or not, but I wouldn't chance it. I'm probably not going to do replays. I'm going to be talking about these 3 secrets and sharing with you some really cool things. So the next video that I'm going to be doing is going to be about which systems I'm using to automate my entire business. It's really simple. I think probably video number 2 will be shorter than video number 1 because it is really, really that simple. And then the third next after that podcast that I'm going to be doing is my simple offer calculator. It's how I use this calculator in Google Sheets, and you can also do it in Podio or whatever your CRM is, to create simple options for you, offers, and you can mail them online to sellers in like snail mail, okay? Because snail mail gets opened. I don't trust email, getting that to the seller. A lot of sellers I talk to, believe it or not, in our business that we do deals don't even have email, right? So this is a way that you can, your VA in the Philippines can print an offer and mail it in the mail to all of your sellers automatically like that. 5 a day, 5 seconds each, 25 seconds a day, okay? It's going to be really cool. So stay tuned. Go to automatedwholesaling.com/webinar to register for this upcoming webinar, and I look forward to seeing you soon on the next couple blog posts. See ya.